Election Policy 3010, presenter GM Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a kind of a clarification of the policy. With some, the flexibility actually already exists to move funds with, to move money within a fund as necessary. There's actually some criteria and dollar levels of authority that all the way from managers all the way to directors and GM. But this was actually requested by me to provide a little bit more flexibility within the capital improvement budget to allow us, at least within each fund, to be able to move money around instead of, and then reporting back to the board on any changes quarterly, something like that. So that's what the document that is before you can see the changes in red. We just added a little bit of clarification, and that the adopted, one of the things I want to point out is that the adopted budget shall be reviewed quarterly. It just sometimes said quarterly, and so since I've been here, I know I have not brought the adopted budget back to you quarterly. So when I saw that, I said, wow, this is something that just we haven't been doing, and so it just makes sense for the finance committee to look at that since they're involved in it. And then if they feel that it'll be at the finance committee's discretion whether to bring it to the full board, because if we're within budget with everything, we don't have any big surprises. I mean, normally we report out the big surprises to you, but you are fiduciary guard keepers of the district funds, and so we want to make sure you're informed. You're making good informed decisions. But I would recommend approval of this. That gives us the flexibility that we're seeking.
I have a motion to approve MB1.
Second.
All right, motion made by Director Glennon, second by Director Webb. All those in favor say aye. Actually, first, sorry, discussion. Anybody got anything they want to? Okay. Second was by Director Webb. All those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed, motion passes 4-0. NB2, Resolution 2025-13, approving the general manager as an authorized representative for Lands of Promise Water System Consolidation Funding Application. Presenter, Gene, here you go.
Thank you, Mr. President. I didn't find anything in the files that authorized us to engage. So we are getting ready to put, just to give you a little background, I know you're probably familiar with Lands of Promise, and they have an arsenic issue as well. And I think the district may have looked at consolidation with them in previous years, maybe with William, in conjunction with William Fisher. I believe that was the idea.
And they were in it from the beginning.
Yeah. So, but then when William Fisher was dropped off and Lands of Promise was dropped off, my understanding. So the state approached self-help to assist them with an application. And it's still a consolidation application, but instead of engaging the district and the district having its own consultants do the upfront work to prepare the application, they have self-help doing that as the lead, which is it was a little bit of a strange arrangement, but we're at a point. So I've been tracking it. I've been invited to the call. So we have involvement. I know John's been involved. We have involvement on the project, been advising them as to how we should approach it. And, but now we're to a point we're going to apply for the grant. And so we're going to start spending staff time, even more staff time, and providing financial information for grant. So this actually is needed just not for the grant, but also to give me official approval stuff moving forward on this. So it's the wording is pretty much a form wording that is part of the grant application. So you know, with specifics about the project, but it's pretty much verbatim for the state application. So I with unless there's any objection, I would recommend that we approve.
All right, do I have a motion for NB2?
I'll move.
Motion made by Director Glennon, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Director Wood, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. NB3, approval of agreement with Feldman, or I'm gonna say that wrong, Rolap and Associates for municipal advisory services for financing of the sludge removal project. Presenter, GM Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. So we received some direction, well, not direction. We were tasked with, how's that? Tasked with investigating what it would take to finance the cost of the sludge removal project, which is about $10 million. And that's the accumulated sludge that we've had over, how many years, John? So,
I've been here.
okay, since the bonds have been in service, I believe, the accumulated sludge over at the wastewater ponds, which we don't know, we no longer use. So, we worked with our accounting staff to contact the same financial team that put together the financing for the wastewater plant expansion project. So this is basically the same team that we worked with last time for the financing. And we worked through some issues as far as, you know, what terms were the most favorable. Those still are on the table to discuss. But this particular engagement hires them as the for municipal advisory services, which the first task is going to be preparing the RFP for the banks to basically bid on the loan, providing the loan. So that's what this is for. The amount is for $35,000, and it'll be paid for through the loan.
What was the amount, sir?
$35,000.
Thank you.
Recommend that we approve.
Kim, do we have, are you still in contact with potential haulers to haul this stuff out? And
We have, there is, we know of at least one company that not only would haul it, but they could accept it, and they have a facility to accept it.
okay,
So there's a project then. It's just making sure. And that's something that we're doing concurrently is working out how that bid looks like. So I'm gonna give you what my thoughts are on how I think the project should go. I've been discussing with the engineers that are putting the scope together. So we have the majority of the accumulations in one pond. And it's about 4 to 6 feet deep. That's how deep sludge is in this large area. Talking about a lot of material. But it's been drying over the years, the past 2 years, but it's still, got some moisture because it's so thick. And nobody's been, gone in there to kind of stir it up. So the scope, I think, looks like this. All the other ponds where the sludge is thin and dry, that gets hauled out first. Gets taken off the site. That's one phase of the job, of the work. Second phase of the work is pay somebody, get in there and take that material that's in the 4 to 6 foot deep material, spread it out to a certain thickness in the available pond area. So you're not paying them to do nothing more than haul it out and then spread it out. And then once that's done, then you wait a few months, let it completely dry out. Then you come back in and you do the rest of it out. And I think it takes away any uncertainties, potentials for change orders. If you first clean them out, then you take the wet sludge and you put it and you spread it out, even thickness, and then they can quantify it. A contractor can quantify it. So,
well, Houghton, I know that we have to punch holes in the dikes. And so they can't hold water anymore. Are we gonna be able to spread that dirt on site, or do we gotta haul that off?
I didn't read that in the order.
Okay,
I did not read that in the discharge requirements.
but I thought it said we had to render the ponds inert where they couldn't hold water. But if we,
Is
we don't
that
have to
one
do that,
pipe
that's
that
great.
comes out, is that, because now you're talking about a big earthwork job. If you knock a bunch of pipes down. I
Okay,
mean, if we clean all the sludge up and all we're getting is rainwater, how much water can we actually hold? It's just
that's
true.
true.
So that's my thought. And unless somebody tells me differently, that's the equivalent.
Well, I didn't read the order where it said, I was told that that's what the order said.
I think that's what they want, but it's about spirit and letter and spirit.
Okay,
That's the approach.
all right, sounds great.
John, I got a question, and I think I've overlooked it. You can tell me. You said it's 35,000. I'm looking at the agreement, and I don't see their dollar amount nowhere in the agreement. Am I
In
missing?
fact, in your, some that was pointed out, it's corrected in the final document, but if you look under Exhibit B, Exhibit P, Part 1, we actually caught it after the board packet went out. So it's the number's correct, the words are not correct. So it's 35.
Okay, all right, cool, thank you.
All right, any more discussion? Motion to approve NB3.
Motion approved, sir.
Motion made by Director Webb. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second made by Director Wood. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. NB4, approve September Fest as a meeting under ordinance 2021-1. Presenter Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. So September Fest is coming up, and Roseman CSD is gonna have a booth. And, staff recommends that the directors, spend some time at the booth. Brief the public. So ordinance 21-1 identifies the functions in which you're compensated. And parades, festivals, and holiday events are excluded from compensation. The ask I'm asking tonight is that you identify September Fest as a meeting. So that if you do attend and spend time, then you get compensated for it. That's the request. And the date is September 20th, September 2020, Saturday. I'll cover from 4 in the morning to 8.
Any other discussion?
Motion approved, sir.
All right, can I get a motion to approve Director Webb? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Director Glidden. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. NB5, the addition to the agenda, Kerncog, that's what it is. Outreach.
Yeah, so this is, I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead.
I'm sorry. So I can tell you, it's the 2026 Regional Transportation Plan Mini Grant Application. So I received a phone call and then a subsequent email from Joel McCabe with RMAC, who were contacted about applying for a mini grant for outreach, for local outreach. It's up to $2,500 from Kerncog. The application is due on August 22nd, so we wouldn't have made it to the next board meeting. That's why we bring it to you as an additional item. And so I just need permission to apply, the date, if the outreach it happens, if we get selected and we do outreach here, then, that date, we'll know that date in the future, but, essentially I think KernCog is just, quite frankly, they're desperate to get participation. And so they're trying to get, hopefully we'll get people from the Roseman and Mojave and the local area to have an opportunity to participate in the transportation plan, because, roads affect everybody. And, it would be good to get, this is your chance to complain, that you're not being paid attention to. So, with your permission, I will apply for the grant, and then we'll schedule something.
All right, any discussion? All right, third,
Second.
all right, no, actually, you're first. Motion to approve, first was Director Glenn, do I have a second?
Second,
Motion made by Director Glidden, second by Director Wood. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Director reports, comments, and future agenda items. I'm gonna go first, please. No one ever does that. I'm gonna go first this time. And mine is, I attended the Tri-State Conference last week. Feels like it was a lot longer than a week ago, but I went there. I did that for my day job, not as a representative of the Roseman Community Service District, but I did spend some time with staff while I was there and attended a couple classes with them, and even attended a class that one of our staff was putting on, Ryan, and I was impressed. I felt like it was a very good presentation. And you can hear people scuttering in the back talking, but I felt like he stepped up, talked about what we learned, and I think that's something that our industry, either water or sewer, needs to do more of. I don't think every jurisdiction can be an all-star where they never do anything wrong, but by stepping up and saying that I learned from our mistakes, and next time we come across something like this again, we'll know what we're looking at. I think, like I said, I think we need a lot more people doing that, but I was very proud to be a Roseman resident while I was there, and I was glad to see the staff. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, one of my favorite things is I was sitting on the casino room floor and I'm talking to my guys from my day job, and then the guys from Roseman walk up and they start talking to me, and then I introduced them all, and I kind of just stood back and let them just start talking shop back and forth with each other, and I felt like they were building a good communication with each other, going over stuff, how they do it. It was kind of nice to hear, so I really enjoyed it. So that's all I have from my director's report. Director Webb.
On the casino floor, right?
On the casino. You kind of awkward. Hey, guys, gonna go back to my room and talk?
I didn't attend the conference, but I think all of us know that Ryan, he gets excited about that turnout there. I think we need that excitement, because as the future progresses and we're talking about the dynamics of that and getting other people to see that, I think we're gonna need that energy for it. I will be headed to next week, I will be headed to the Special Districts Conference, and I will have something to report back on that. Every meeting, I always bring up the weather. Folks, this weather was no joke. Hydrate, and check on people that are by themselves, because, they're good 1 minute, but at 105, 106, things change. So make sure we're checking on those that are by themselves. And Sherry, I got my swag for the conference. Thank you very much. I got my shirts. They look, folks, you guys can see my shirts, but they look very cool. And I will be buying our colors. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Director Wood, what do you got?
well, I don't have anything to report at this time, but I'm hoping to have something to report after the 18th, but I can give you a little bit on it. Last month, I received a personal invitation from CWEA to be a first-time presenter speaker at their both of their conferences. And so I submitted my application and what am I going to talk about? Our wastewater treatment plant and water reclamation program, and to shine a spotlight on our deal, on what we're doing here in Roseland, with other agencies. So the 18th of this month, they will let me know whether they've accepted me as being one of their speakers. And if they have, then I would like to work with Kim and Ryan and everything to put together a killer presentation and to really showcase and show up our agency.
So it's gonna be like the annual conference
We're
or?
gonna be at they have two conferences, the annual one in Sacramento and the other one, the first one in Riverside.
First time, yeah, because it's been in Long Beach, it's been in San Diego, so it's cool. It's gonna be in Riverside. Nice. I will do my best to make it there if you get selected. All right, Director Glennon, last but not least.
Friday, my extended family is my big span. I have a granddaughter who will be getting married on Fridays.
Congratulations.
That's have some of the family here for that event. And this also ties right in, the week after that is our 60th anniversary. We got married when we were 12. They're celebrating all that together.
Let's go. Congratulations.
I like that.
General Counsel update, which his name was Alex, and I'm gonna Dominguez.
Yes, that's right. I don't have anything. When I spoke with John, he didn't have anything to report either. So we're good.
Awesome. Thanks for attending tonight. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. General Manager update, Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Got a few things to report on. I'll start with Tri-State. I agree with you. I was there and I actually attended quite a few sessions that I think I picked up some things that we'll probably discuss on committee. But it was the first time I'd attended, and it was really I really enjoy operator conferences, quite frankly, more than I enjoy the and those kind of conferences. I really do, because you feel like you're talking to real people, you know. I mean, quite honestly, I'm an engineer, so I guess I can say that about myself. I'm not a real person most of the time. But yeah, and Ryan,
And Sean, I should say.
and Sean, they, we went through a couple practice sessions with them, and he knocked it out of the park, quite frankly. So he did this district very proud. So I was very proud. And pretty much, I was there in the front row, and then in case you needed a home friend or
Brock was sitting in the front row too.
Yes.
And, he leans over to me right when Brian starts. He goes, "Let's see how many times he throws me under the bus." And at the end, I'm like, "So how many times?" He goes, "You did good." It was good. It was good.
It was really good. I think by the time everybody had come up afterwards and talked to him, and he probably had like 2 or 3 job offers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And he came and told me that he was gonna have to talk to me. And
See, look what you have to look forward to at the CWA conference, some job offers. I think I'm getting
Anyway.
eagle eye from out in the crowd.
It was fun. It was fun, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you to the board for sending me. So I appreciate that. I have a report on the foundation. This foundation is officially dissolved. So, what's gonna happen with, the funds, as was discussed in the foundation, is the checks have already been cut and are ready to go, so we're gonna put together a letter, that's gonna go with the checks to the organizations. And then we will send those out. Does anybody want to review that letter before we send it out?
I have trust in you.
If
And share it.
anybody wants to, I'm happy to share it, get a chance for you to have input. But it's pretty much gonna just say, in general, maybe not, well, maybe congratulations, but you've been selected by the Foundation True Citizens. And here they are, they were originally intended for Parks and Rec activities. And since the foundation's now been dissolved, congratulations for the fund.
I would hopefully that a news, press release would go out of what the districts is doing to make sure that at least the foundation and the RCSD gets recognized that, we took this money and helped out these other entities in the community.
We will engage as the Access to help to assist us. That aren't fully occupied or decide to take down spaces because of the taxes that they're experiencing. The board actually made a decision back in 2016 in an ordinance to allow for only occupied units to be charged. So I've got to come up with a way, because one of the concerns that we had, as we discussed, and I forget what committee it was, maybe it was policy. One of the concerns we had was, what if somebody says, okay, I'm removing it, and so we take it off the tax roll, and then they put it back in, and we don't know, right? So I'm coming up with a policy on how we deal with that. So, and I talked it over with our attorney on my ideas and how to deal with that, and he thought it was a great idea. My idea is, just so you all know, is that we'll take them off the roll, and then we're gonna do an annual review, because we don't have that many mobile home parks. We can go out and do an annual review before we submit the tax roll in. And if we discover any that were then reinstalled back, that, and they didn't tell us about it ahead of time, that we will assume that they should have been charged the day after it came in and had.
You're retroactive.
Retroactive. And John thought that was a great approach. So I just gotta write it up. And it's gotta be an ordinance, because it needs to go through the rigor that the public needs to have input. So that's gonna get referred to the policy committee for review, and then we'll bring it to the full board when we're ready. For September Fest, we're gonna have a canopy expenditure for the pop-up. There's been a desire to have the logo, RCSD logo on a pop-up. I think it's a great idea. So just wanted you to be aware that that's what the staff's heading with that pop-up.
Shop around. You can get them pretty cheap.
I received information from Vice President Washington, and he forwarded me the company that Palmdale bought on campuses.
You can also,
Have any other insights on companies?
a company called Fresh Upgrade,
Fresh Upgrade?
and then actual Easy Up, they do it as well.
Oh, easy at this?
Yeah.
You know what we could do also? We could all get tattoos.
I would never.
Or the henna testing?
Is it fake ones? I like the most one. I would never get a
We
tattoo.
could have the RCSD logo at your place, the registry.
Or the sleeves?
Sleeves.
Sleeves, yeah.
You know what? And the general manager can get right here, RCSD right here.
It's called Job Stoppers. On the neck, Job Stoppers.
And then, two more things I want to announce, after discussion with, President Stewart, we want to announce Greg Wood's assignment to the Personnel Committee, and the Director, or President Stewart, will be stepping off that committee. He has 4 committee assignments, so we thought we'd spread the work over, so So Greg, welcome to the personnel committee.
So Victor, thank you.
Thank you.
Then, lastly, I will also be at CSDA because of, August 25th, so I'm sure we'll catch up there directly.
There you go.
That's all I have.
Then we get our tattoos.
All right, thank you very much. Director of Administration update, Sherry Tim.
Thank you, Mr. President. So in the month of August, we did have 20 accounts, delinquent accounts that were shut off for non-service, non-payment. I was also given an opportunity to attend an Aqua Human Resources Group meeting last week. It was just a one-day event at the Rancho Cucamonga Water District, I believe. A great facility, just beautiful. So I got to spend a day with other HR professionals. One of the topics that I found really interesting was AI in HR, practical applications for water agency personnel. How AI can help implement, if you've got a small district that was focused on folks that have not a lot of personnel from small districts. And I thought that was really great. Gave practical tips, things to consider, make sure you have the right context, don't use personally identifiable information, and always fact check. Other practical applications are like your evaluations. And you can actually input your employee handbook and write policies. But again, we need to move that in. So it's just a helpful tool to use.
One thing to look at is getting an account with the ChatGPT or the OpenAI for the district alone, and then there's a way to toggle off where your stuff will not be used as reference material for other districts. Because if somebody does mess up and put a name or something in there, it can actually be pulled out of. So that might be something to look into. But ChatGPT and that kind of stuff is a great asset.
And that's the end of my report. Is there any questions?
Not hearing anything. Moving on to the whole reason we're here is for the public works update. John,
I have to apologize for no public works update report, because I was on vacation and Larry was at Tri-State. Be sure to have a fresh, colorful one at the next.
That he would make up the difference.
Yeah. Business as usual, lots of leaks going on right now. We had one of our back trucks that is going for some warranty work, airbag that was leaking, so it was down in Bakersfield for a week. Also, we have a backup generator here at the facility that's installed today for our backup generator. So they've been working on this generator for a few weeks now. They cannot figure out the problem. So they contacted the manufacturer. Manufacturer will think about it. They can trust. They replace the ECU computer in the engine, and it's not experiencing problems. They're learned how to expertise on their end as far as it's a generator. They're versed in all generators, but they seem to think that by having the manufacturer come out here and troubleshoot, they may be able to find something they can. So that's where we're at now. So if you notice out there's a trailer mounted generator sitting right next to ours, so it's plugged in the same way. If the power goes out, it automatically starts, and it'll still start every Monday also for 15 minutes.
Has there ever been a problem with the switchgear itself, or is that working okay?
Switcher it's always worked good. So the problem it actually starts. It tells it to start. It fires up, it ramps up to speed, and then shuts down. And the code that it's reading is saying that it's the flywheel teeth sensor. But they replaced the flywheel sensor, they replaced the actual ECU. And it's still same drop, and start up, rev up, shut down.
So for a generator that is that critical, would you recommend maybe having a redundancy? In other words, a backup for the generator, or is that kind of overkill?
Up until this point, that thing's been flawless. It's been here since, 2004, when it was there.
Okay.
And they're quite expensive, they're looking at probably $350,000.
Yeah, I know, they're really
About
out
when
there.
you air district requirements.
Yeah,
2, 3.
so
Those all-
that, I mean, how hard do you go?
Yeah, and it is, I kind of figured, I was just wondering if that was kind of an overkill there. But, that is strange that it'll fire up and then just cut out.
Needless to say, one of the things that we, that I've already put on the agenda schedule is to bring you a capital projects update to address that issue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone got any questions? Is there anything for the good of the meeting? Hearing nothing, it is 6:43 and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Yeah.